Alright, new day. So let's fast forward till we see Angelo's face again. I'm thinking for Mark, this is the key dialogue thing we'll pick for him. So I'll try this one just so that we know what this one is as well. Most people tell little white lies. Most people aren't so blunt with their feelings, I think. They often respond in a way that is nicer just to save the other person's feelings. That's probably what you're missing. Oh, but that's lying. I can't do that. Is that why you did not want to tell me at first that I was insulting the others? Yeah, I didn't want to be rude. But if you had not been honest, I would not have seen the problem. Well, I try to be as honest as possible while being as kind as possible. It seems I'll have to give this more thought. Anyways, thank you for your help. You are a very kind person. I know, or, well, I've realized that I'm probably not the easiest person to deal with. Thank you for dealing with me. He beamed at me, and my heart felt oddly lighter. Alright, so you're in the philosophy section. Oh, this is for tryouts. I'll say no thanks this time. No thanks, I'm no good at soccer. Oh. Peggy's face fell, and I felt a little bad, but there was no way I was going to make a fool of myself in front of Danny, and who knew who else. You can do it, though. I believe in you. Right. Well, thanks anyways, Malia. She waved and jogged off. Bye, Peggy. Sorry, Peggy. You're next on my list. Alright, spending some time exploring and meeting Jihyo. Hi, girl. And, I can't today either, Peggy, sorry. Now, what was Angelo taking? I can't remember. Let me just save. I'll just save over the old just in case. That's fine. So, Mark is philosophy. And I'm pretty sure Danny was biology. Is he in computing? I looked around the computing section and didn't spot anyone I recognized, though I did see a large sign taped to one of the shelves. Please stop stealing the C++ Bibles. Heh, I would have expected the hackers to be thieves. Never mind. I should just find some books and go. Okay, is that's it? Alright, hold on. Let's try that again. Who's in literature? I looked around the literature section and spotted a guy I vaguely recognized from my own class, but he was already walking away. I should just find some books and go. Okay. Neither of those are things that Angelo's into. Hey, Malia! As soon as I walked in the door, Ozzy accosted me. Head to room 304. I guess vomited all over the floor and they need someone to clean up. She grinned and I nodded sullenly. She always gave me the most disgusting jobs. What did I ever do to her? Other than that one thing, but that wasn't my fault. There was nothing I could do now but go along with it. Blurg. Angelo wasn't there to save me. Alright, so Jihyo's sketching. Oh, wait, Angelo, come back. Is this the knitting thing? Yes. Alright, that's as far as I can go. I passed by Angelo in the hall. His shirt seemed oddly lumpy. Angelo? He jumped. A small ball of yarn and 2 knitting needles fell out from under his shirt. You saw nothing. I saw nothing. He hurried away. Should I? No, I think it's better to leave that one alone. He's got a secret passion for knitting. Leave him alone. Peggy, Danny, Angelo, and I were all eating lunch in the dining room when James loped through the doorway.
You four. The front garden is a mess. Are you just gonna leave it like that?
Pardon? I hadn't seen a garden anywhere around here. It took me a moment to work out that he meant the yard. That's not our responsibility, is it now?
Yes, it is now. I want it clean by tonight or I'm throwing you out of your rooms.
With that, he left. He can't be serious. He's not serious, right?
You all haven't been here as long as I have. This is my 2nd year. I'm sad to say he's done much worse.
So, immediately after eating, we discarded our plans for the day and went to the front yard. Despite the fact that it was the middle of winter, scraggly weeds were visibly growing over the flower beds and clumping up here and there in the grass. I stared at them, unsure of what to do. I didn't really have a yard back in New York. Danny shrugged, got down on his knees, and started pulling plants out of the ground. After a second, the other two went to different areas of the lawn and followed suit. I wasn't really confident enough to do it on my own. Who should I join? Well, our boy Angelo. I plopped myself down near Angelo, grabbing plants and pulling.
This is ridiculous, don't you think? He's using us as some form of cheap labor. I swear, one of these days I'm going to...
Angelo tugged sharply at a plant, and it uprooted, along with a giant chunk of earth. Hey. I laid my hand gently on his shoulder. Don't bother wasting your time with him. He's not worth it. Save it for the battle you really need to fight. Angelo looked at me questioningly, and I shrugged. Assuming you have one anyways.
I do.
He stared at the ground for a few moments and grit his teeth.
Let's get on with it then.
We got to work tugging up weed after weed, and probably a few flowers too. Quite a few minutes passed before Angelo said, so quietly I almost missed it.
Thanks.
Aww! He has a real battle to fight. Who's he battling? I hope it's not Ozzy. Who is Angelo's, what's the word? Adversary. Hours later, we sat exhausted on the front walkway, wiping sweat from our brows. James came around the front, sipping from an orange drink in his hand. He glanced around the yard and nodded.
It'll do.
The alcohol on his breath almost stung my eyes. He jerked his head and we moved out of his way so he could get into the hostel. I hate that guy. Somehow, as a collective, we sighed.
You're not the only one.
Angelo, you continue to intrigue. Let's see. I came into the kitchen slightly late that evening, planning to just grab a quick sandwich or something before bed. Oh, Ashley. You taught me about the ways of pie. I do remember that. Alright, there's Gihyo. Oh gosh, Brandon, go away. Brandon again. Well, we can skip through all of that. Bleh. And bleh. Okay. We're at work, so let's do that.
Malia, go to room 633. There's a problem, and the guests need someone to look at it.
I nodded. Angelo shook his head warningly at me, but there was nothing I could do. I went off to the room. When I got there, I noticed it had a Do Not Disturb sign on the knob. Should I go downstairs and double-check the room number? On the other hand, people often forget that they put the sign up, and if they had specifically called to the front desk for help, it might be important to hurry. So I knocked. I knocked again, harder. Excuse me? You asked for room service? The door flew open and a half-naked man stood in the doorway. Please stop or I'll call your manager. We're busy and we specifically asked not to be bothered. And he slammed the door in my face. Thanks, Ozzy. Well, Angelo tried to save us, but what could we do? As time passed, work at the hotel slowly got easier. It was still difficult dealing with Ozzy and navigating the myriad of challenges she threw at me, clearly intending to make me lose my job. But Angelo and I got on well, and I began to pick up the skills necessary for swift and efficient cleaning. Crisp bedsheets, spotless dusting. I was even beginning to pick up a distaste for the way I had always lived. I didn't like to look at my hostel room and see the same sort of mess a guest might leave for me. After this job, my house would never look sloppy again. Angelo had gone ahead into the bathroom. I bent to lift the bucket of mop water off the cart.
Malia!
He hurried over to me, frowning.
You should not be lifting that. It is too heavy for you. Leave the bathrooms to me.
I wanted to protest that I wasn't fragile, but maybe he had a point. It was a lot easier if I left the harder work to him. I mean, we nearly dropped a whole bucket of water, so he might have a point. Oh, James is complaining about stuff. And yeah, I'm not gonna go with you this time either, Ashley. Sorry. Ah, we're at the soccer match, or football match, rather. Yeah, so Peggy's kind of interested in Danny, so I'll back off. I was kind of disappointed we didn't have anything about that develop on Danny's route. Like, we never talked to Peggy about it in any way. But anyway, I wondered if there was more than that. I hadn't seen any signs of a real romance blossoming, but I hadn't asked them either. It seemed like everyone in this hostel was young and single. It would only make sense if some of us paired off. Well, if they did end up dating, I hoped they would be happy together. They should be. Danny was practically perfect. He was smart, attractive, well organized. He was constantly helping out around the hostel and looking after everyone. Woo! Go Danny! Danny, now dashing out onto the field for the first time, looked into the stands and saw us. He beamed and waved, and Peggy waved frantically back. Okay, we're back to skipping territory. Okay, and then we still lost our phone. I was wondering if that would be different. It is different because we weren't jealous this time, which is interesting.
You should keep a better grip on your possessions, Malia. Otherwise, someone might rob you blind.
Oh. I took the phone back from him and blinked at the pictures of him clearly visible on the screen. Oh, okay. I was saying oh because I thought, oh, maybe because we weren't interested, we didn't take all those pictures and drool over him, but we still did, apparently. Wait, did you bypass my lock? that face.
I told you. You need to improve your security.
That was a little weird, but I didn't want to tell him off for it. He did give me my phone back. Alright. We just won't touch that one. Yeah, maybe next time, girl. I'll hug you next route. And then she had a big sleep. And, okay, so we're back to these three. I'm gonna help Ozzy again and try and get the drunk scene. Because I kind of want to throw her under the bus this route and just see what happens. And then I will be satisfied. There you go. Alright, let's joke around about Star Wars again. And insult her. Poor Chico. Ashley brought me stuff. Ah, okay. We're just flying through. Had nothing to do with me. Danny's just, looking like he wants to murderize somebody. As Angelo and I were making our way to the elevators, Ozzy called out to me.
Malia, someone reported a missing mobile after you and Angelo cleaned their rooms. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
What? No? What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing.
I frowned, but tried to ignore the sinking feeling in my stomach at her sing-song tone. Angelo and I continued to the elevator. As soon as the doors closed, he turned to me.
Empty your pockets.
What? But I didn't take anything.
Empty them.
I did as he said, rummaging through the folds of my maid uniform, and suddenly my hand struck something solid. What? I pulled out a small flip phone nestled deep into my uniform. But I didn't... I looked at Angelo, who narrowed his eyes.
Give it to me.
I did as he said, so scared I couldn't speak. Was I going to lose my job? There must have been some mistake. The elevator doors opened. Angelo went straight across the hall to a potted plant and shoved the phone in there.
Don't worry. You're fine.
I stared at him, trembling slightly. He shook his head.
Forget about it. Let's just get to work.
Did Ozzy just set me up? And Angelo saved me? So he knew what she was doing to me and he was on my side? A flood of warmth filled my heart. Thank you.
Yeah. Just hurry up or we won't be finished in time.
Yes, sir! Aw, Angelo. I like that he believed us right away. It wasn't like, maybe she did steal it. Oh. Marriage problems? Is this when we have our big fight?
Hey, Malia, you missed a spot.
I did? Where? Oof! I took a pillow to the face, the soft bundle falling to the floor at my feet. Oi, what was that for? Angelo's grinning face poked out at me from inside the bathroom.
No reason. The pillow was in the bathtub for some reason, all dry.
Weird. Somebody must be having insomnia.
Or marriage problems.
Yeesh. The relationship between Angelo and me had been steadily improving over the past few weeks. Thankfully, working together was still creating an amicable atmosphere instead of letting everything Angelo did get on my nerves. After all, he was kind, funny, and very chivalrous. He always carried heavy things for me and cleaned up the more disgusting of the messes patrons left behind, especially in the bathroom. He also took the heat when a customer was angry with us, addressing all complaints, and heading into rooms first when we could tell there were people still inside, just in case. That wasn't to say he didn't do things that pissed me off, however. Case in point.
Malia, why have you never cooked for me?
Pardon me?
Why haven't you cooked for me? We're close enough for that kind of thing, aren't we? I'm getting tired of eating out all the time, and although Ashley's cooking is nice, I could use a change of pace.
We entered the elevator heading down to the lobby and the end of that day's shift. I was already exhausted and just wanted to get home, but now Angelo was saying that I should cook for him too? Where did that even come from? Why can't you cook your own meals? The elevator doors closed behind us. Angelo glanced at me in surprise and gave a hearty belly laugh.
Oh, Kara. I do, but it is a woman's gift to cook for the family. You're supposed to take care of and serve us, just as...
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't know what you're talking about with this serving bullshit, but that ain't gonna fly. He looked at me in confused surprise.
But I was saying that it was just as we would do for...
No, I don't want to hear it. I'm not a servant, I'm not a slave, I don't serve anybody except for myself. Not even my children will be served, if I even have them.
Malia, you don't want children? What is this nonsense? Children are one of the greatest joys in a woman's life, or a man's. It's what we were designed to do.
So I should give up my own life for that? Why are you telling me what I should want for myself? Finally, it seemed Angelo was losing his patience.
Kara, I did not say any of those things. If you would listen to me for 5 minutes, you would realize that you are being unreasonable, and my opinions are perfectly logical and sound.
Why must you insist on telling me how to live my life, Angelo?
I am not telling you how to do anything. Where are you getting this from? That is far from what I am wanting. I am wanting your happiness, and your happiness is dependent on your fulfillment as a woman, is it not?
I swear to high heaven, Angelo! Suddenly, I noticed faces staring at us. The elevator doors had already opened, and guests were watching us, shifting uncomfortably. Come with me, you two. Our boss beckoned to us. Evidently, she had been summoned by Ozzy, who was smirking nearby. Angelo and I followed quietly along into the employee lounge, where our boss stared us down. I think I heard enough of the conversation to understand what was happening. Malia, you should do your best to be less sensitive. Angelo, you should try harder to be more sensitive. What happened here was a matter of cultural differences. You must both try to get along. If you cause another scene like that, you will be thrown out of the hotel. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Shake hands. I reached my hand out to Angelo, who looked at it as though it was dirty. Oh, this brings back memories. Regardless, he took my hand very gently in his, turning it over and bowing so it looked more like he was going to kiss it than an actual handshake. Very well. You both are off the hook for today. Make sure it does not happen again. Angelo and I returned to our separate changing rooms in silence. I rushed to get my clothes in order, wanting to leave before him, but he apparently had the same idea, and we emerged from the employee area at the same time. I'm heading this way first.
I've gotta run and get...
Right, be seeing you. I watched Angelo head off in the opposite direction from the hostel, so great was his need to avoid me. Perfect. Wonderful. Fine by me. But how horribly awkward. Blech. Alright, we had our big blow up. That's fine. Maybe you're just a jerk. You kind of sound like a douche. Whoops. My goodness. Angelo, you're here already again. I forgot how many events we have with Angelo.
You did a terrible job of folding this corner. And look at the comforter. It's all slanted to one side. Where has your head been today, Malia?
I don't know, Angie. Maybe fitting blankets on a king-size bed would be easier if I wasn't the only one doing it.
I do the bathrooms and the floors. You do the beds and the clothes. That is fair. I've told you, I don't do women's work.
He shot me a look, and I tried very hard not to grind my teeth. Ever since that fight and subsequent awkwardness, Angelo and I had been bickering. Constant, non-stop bickering. He would tell me exactly how to do everything that I was doing. It was never good enough for him. I maintained that I was completely innocent, having done just as well as I did before. Nor did I ever pick a fight with him, as far as I could tell. All I had ever tried to do was open his mind just a little bit. It wasn't my fault that his mind was shut tighter than my mother's purse in a candy shop. Right. My work, your work. Totally separate. You have told me that before.
Then why don't you start listening to me?
I have better things to do with my time. Angelo grunted and turned away. I fixed the bed sheets and we turned into the next room. This was a larger room than most and would take more time to clean.
Try not to miss anything this time, right?
He shot me a glare and headed into the bathroom. I started to prepare the sheets but was interrupted.
Malia?
Now what do you want?
Could you come here?
Rolling my eyes, I stepped into the doorway of the bathroom. What do you want?
There are these feminine things. I ask that you handle them.
I thought the bathroom was a man's job.
Yes, well, things are not always so cut and dried.
I frowned. The feminine items he was referring to were a box of tampons, a packet of birth control pills, and some makeup all scattered around the sink. Sure, they were items that most guys would be embarrassed to touch, but they were pretty normal to have in a bathroom. This couldn't be the first time he'd encountered them. Was he just trying to get out of doing even this much work? We will be nice and clear out the counter. I grudgingly went into the bathroom and shifted the items so he'd be able to actually get to the countertop. The bathrooms themselves were tiny boxes in most of the rooms, the space taken up by the large bathtub and double sinks lining either side of the wall. As such, there wasn't much room to maneuver, and Angelo didn't seem to want to give me any space. Pardon? I brushed against his arm first, and immediately he started to talk. What is your problem? What is going on with you?
Why must you be so klutzy, Malia? And you are taking such a long time. Please hurry it up, would you?
For the love of... I'm trying, Angelo! I sped up and was about finished when this time my backside brushed up against his torso. Well, sirs, you're right, you dingus. I glanced at him through the mirror and we made eye contact. We both flushed. Maybe you got out of my damn way, man.
Why must you insist on making everything so difficult? Slow, clumsy, klutzy, completely unladylike in all ways. Rough around the edges too, and your personality is like a clump of bricks with feet.
I stood there taking his insult, watching his face turn redder and redder, his eyes avoiding mine. Yeah, but I got a very shapely behind, though.
If you weren't so brash all the time, perhaps you'd actually find someone who could tolerate you and...
Oh my god. He liked me. That's what all this man-woman stuff was about. When he asked me to cook for him, when he protected me from Ozzy's plotting. He felt this way all along. Wow, you could turn him down? Damn, I'm kind of curious about that, but no. Encourage. Wow, those feelings like took a 180-degree turn real quick. Angelo. The tone of my voice must have been different because he stopped and stared at me. If you like me, just say so. The words floated out and blanketed the silence between us. Angelo cast his eyes to the ground.
Fine.
He grabbed my hand and pulled me towards him. Eh?
I do like you. You are absolutely insufferable and more confusing than any other woman I have met in my life, and I do like you. I would like to try dating you, if you find that appealing.
When he finally decided to say something, he certainly did say something. That is so amazing. That's one of the best love confessions I've ever had. You act like a little boy in love, being mean to the girl you like. I grinned at him and he flushed.
It is not that simple. You are different from what I am used to, so my standard practices simply did not apply and I was at a loss. It happened on its own. I wouldn't have picked a girl like you on my own choice.
You're just digging a deeper and deeper hole. Just hold on. Oh wow, off to an excellent start, aren't we? Angelo's blush only got deeper.
No, that is not what I meant.
Yeah. I shoved him away from me. Now that I've finished the bathroom, you've got to get to work, right?
Yes?
Right. And I will too. Let me know what our first date will be,
Okay.
I wiggled my fingers at him, then escaped from the bathroom. Damn, Malia's really going after him. After that, I had to fight to remain calm for the rest of the day. Completely understandable, my girl.